The Supreme Court's upcoming decisions don't just affect reproductive rights. There are plenty of other ways the court can screw us, including something called the shadow docket, which, despite my suggestion in numerous letters to Tom Cruise, is not the name of the next Mission Impossible movie. I was the first celebrity asked specifically not to join Scientology. The shadow docket allows the Supreme Court to make quick legal decisions without the usual written briefings, oral arguments, or signed opinions. It's intended to be used only for emergencies or time-sensitive issues. But recently, the Supreme Court has been treating the shadow docket more like a magic wand.
Not only have the orders from the Supreme Court's shadow docket become more substantive and controversial, they've also been taking an increasingly clear ideological bent.
There's a lot less transparency, a lot less briefing, and a lot less opportunity for the public to actually see the work of the court.
Because the conservative Supreme Court is like, who's going to check me, boo?
Still not as cringeworthy as when MSNBC responded to 9/11 with the Kermit drinking tea meme. In addition to refusing to block Texas's abortion law, the shadow docket has been used to end Biden's eviction moratorium and reinstate Trump's immigration policy. Just to be a dick about it, they even issued a ruling that Al Gore is still a loser. And by the way, when they say shadow docket, they literally mean it happens in the shadows. Some awful decisions are announced in the middle of the friggin' night, like the complete opposite version of that time we all stayed up till 3 because Trump got COVID. I got pregnant that night. Thankfully, it was before all this. Even some current justices have warned against using the shadow docket too freely. In a dissent, Justice Kagan said the court's usage is becoming more unreasoned, inconsistent, and impossible to defend. She also used the words, "these motherfuckers," a lot, but that was just when she was reading the dissent to me privately. I felt special till I found out she does that with all the late-night hosts. It's clear that the Supreme Court is uniquely stacked to benefit the Republicans who stacked it. And that means that even without the shadow docket, the court will be making other dangerous decisions. For example, it recently heard a case from a New York Second Amendment group that seems poised to give more rights than ever to bullets.
A gun rights group is suing the state of New York over its concealed carry law, which requires gun owners to provide a special reason for carrying a weapon outside of their homes.
They said that was unconstitutional, and a majority of the justices yesterday, I think, really seemed to agree.
But the people, all these people with illegal guns, they're on the subway, they're walking around the streets, but the ordinary, hardworking, law-abiding people I mentioned, no, they can't be armed.
Always great to hear from noted subway rider Samuel Alito. The court will also decide a case questioning if public money can fund religious schools, which threatens America's separation of church and state. Even Jesus is like, this is getting a little out of hand, and that guy was cool with being stuck up on a cross. The Supreme Court is supposed to be completely nonpartisan, but it's clear certain ideologies have infiltrated decision-making, and that's led to numerous calls for reform. After the confirmation of Amy Coney Barrett, progressives called for court packing or increasing the number of seats.
The Republicans stole 2 seats on the Supreme Court, and now it is up to us to repair that damage. We do it by adding 4 seats to the court to create a 13-member Supreme Court. The bench will then rightly reflect the values of the majority of the American people. Congress has done it before, and Congress must do it again.
This is why I've always said the justices should sit on a seesaw instead of a bench. Not only would they achieve balance, they'd have fun. Unsurprisingly, expanding the court didn't get strong support on either side of the aisle or from Biden. But there are still other options. We should consider reforming the shadow docket to be more transparent and imposing term limits on justices. 3 current justices have noted potential benefits of term limits, and ending lifetime appointments has the support from a majority of Americans. Because the only job that should be a lifetime appointment is host of British Bake Off. Come back, Melon Soup, with your cute little bun puns. Also, Prue, babe, you're a judge on the show now. You gotta act like it. But there is one idea to improve the Supreme Court that has bipartisan support: ethics reform. And since I think we should start letting men do more emotional labor, I'm just gonna let economist Robert Reich explain this.
Reinforce ethics standards on the court. Currently, almost all federal judges sign onto some form of code of conduct, except for Supreme Court justices. These standards emphasize independence, integrity, and the avoidance of outside political activity. The Supreme Court should adopt the same standards. The court should also institute a better system to recuse justices when conflicts of interest arise.
That includes conflicts like Samuel Alito's grudge against abortion, since his parents repeatedly tried to abort him until he was 15. It's time to reform the Supreme Court. This institution is supposed to serve the rights of all Americans, not just partisan interests. Every decision the court makes will impact generations to come. At this rate, we're going to wake up one morning and find out they used the shadow docket to give guns the right to vote. We cannot take this issue lightly, and we need more transparency. We'll be right back. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to hear more from Full Frontal, like and subscribe. If you'd like to hear some opinions from a man in a lifted truck, leave YouTube on autoplay.